Scrappy, Lucas Da Silva. How are things? It's State Week.
Can we just agree that this is the most exciting week of the high school season and just get it out of the way? This is the most exciting week of the year.
It is. I mean, I still go back to state duels being super exciting as well. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out which of the two, but I'm right there with you. This is what, everybody's worked extremely hard for a long time. And there's just a few matches in front of you. Get a few wins. Next thing you know, you're standing on top of the podium. That's pretty cool. You've done it. I've never done it.
Done it a trio of times, and I will say it now. I'm gonna say it probably a couple times throughout this intro and throughout all these videos. There's not feeling like it in high school wrestling. There really isn't. Like getting to stand on top of the podium in the, let's be nice and say, lovely Macon Coliseum. I'll get into my gripes with it eventually throughout these videos, but standing on top of the Macon Coliseum, looking at your parents taking pictures of you, your coaches and everybody. And it's a moment to really appreciate the work you've put in throughout the season and throughout your entire career to get to that point. Each classification, they have about 50, 60, 70 teams depending. So you got to think of it like this. We started with however many kids in your classification, and in your weight class, down to 12.
Right.
Whichever way it makes sense to the viewers. You guys get what I'm saying? We're down to 12. It's only you and 11 other guys, or girls, fighting for that top spot on the podium, fighting for some jewelry. And I was blessed to do it a couple of times. I'm excited to see. I think the biggest thing about state for me is the storylines, is the kids that, he's a senior and he's a two-time blood rounder and he's got one last run to make the podium, or a guy that maybe he's been a finalist the year before and now he's looking to slay old demons. You get the freshmen who are lighting up the world that want to try to go 4 for 4. And then the team race as well in a couple of these classes is going to be absolutely electric.
Yeah.
I'm buzzing. I'm hoping I could get to Macon this week. I don't know. We're going to see. It's conference week for the boys. And while I'm not wrestling, I will still have responsibilities. I hope I get to go to Macon because I'd love to see it in person, but I'm buzzing, man. It's Macon. The road to Macon.
It is the road to Macon. All right. So just so everybody knows, this is an intro that will go at the beginning of every single one of the videos that we're dropping. But after we finish this intro, we will cut it and actually go to a specific talking in detail about one of the classifications, as well as the girls and that sort of thing. So just if you're really only interested in 1A, or you're only interested in 7A or this or that, we'll get to those in just a second. Okay. But in terms of, Lucas, you said storylines to begin with, just broadly speaking, regardless of what classification, because they'll all be there, right? If you were to pick one or two things that kind of everybody might want to be paying attention to as they walk in, what are a couple of those things?
I'm going to hone in on the first-time guys that maybe they're freshmen or maybe they're sophomore, junior, that last year they didn't make it to the state meet. I want you to take it in when you step into Macon. It's going to be 6 to 8 mats running, lots of people, lots of noise, and every coach and their mother is going to tell you the same adage of, hey, that mat is the same size as the one in our wrestling room. It's the same size as the mat. Take it in. Enjoy the experience. There's not a lot of opportunities you have. I would give it a lot to go wrestle in Macon again. Not that I like the arena. I don't like the arena.
Right.
But for the atmosphere. So first thing I'd say is to the guys who are going there for the first time, take it in. And on the same token, to the guys there for the last time, take it in. Really understand what you won't have again and be appreciative of that. And to the fans, I'm going to say, appreciate the wrestling going on. I can understand as a coach or as a parent, you may be so honed in on your son or daughter, as you should be. But man, with some of these matches going on in some of these brackets, take some time to watch some good wrestling if you can. Like, take some time. If you're just sitting there waiting on your son to wrestle, don't just be on your phone scrolling through Facebook or Imager or Twitter or Tumblr. Watch some of the wrestling, enjoy it. It's once in a lifetime to go to make and to do it multiple occasions that I had the blessing to do. It was incredible. So that would be
Yeah.
my keys.
All right.
Enjoy it. Love it.
So I would say, if you're not familiar, as far as another classification goes, the road to a state title for the teams in 7A is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get to that when we get to 7A.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that if you want to be paying attention to what's going on in a team race, and all the team races are going to be great, but that team race is going to be special. And then the second thing that I wanted to say was kind of piggybacking off of what you said, in that you talked about the freshmen, the first timers and the last timers. The other part is that we always have somebody who comes in as a 6 out of a sectional who is not necessarily on anybody's radar, and they may not win it, but they make a run and they end up on the podium. And it's a very special feeling because they started out in a deep hole to get to that point. So
I got an even better story for you. My senior year at heavyweight, kid at a Cherokee, I think it was an alternate, gets in on a guy getting injured, and he makes a run to the state finals. And he eventually lost to
Fairchild?
God. Oh, who?
Fairchild?
Yes, thank you. I was thinking Fairchild. Yeah. He loses to Fairchild, but he took 9th. And because this is when it was top 8 that went, ladies and gentlemen. This was 16-man brackets.
Right.
He took 9th at sectionals, 9th, and made a run to the state final.
Yeah, so the storylines are huge. I mean, that's what we're going to kind of talk about when we get into the brackets, but it's going to be fun. Yeah,
you're going to have some Cinderellas where the glass slipper is going to fit for some of them, and they're going to have a story when they're older of, hey, I was the 5 seed at the state tournament. I knocked off a 4, I knocked off a 6 seed, then I knocked off a 1. I made the way back to the finals, and I was wrestling the guy who beat me at sectionals, and I got the comeback, and I win the state title. There are going to be stories that come from this weekend of that, and to those kids, it's going to be something they remember for the rest of their lives.
All right, so you ready to jump into one of these?
Yes, I am. Which one's it going to be? Just like I did with the rank, which one's it going to be? I don't know. They could be watching 5 for all we know.
Right. So let's jump in.
Storytelling. It's wonderful storytelling.
All right. We are here for 2A. Fat and Scrappy's Lucas Da Silva. Yep, 2. There you go. I love that. All right. So if anybody has not watched some of the others, just to give you a heads up, we are going to start at some various weight and kind of go through. So we don't always start at 106 and go to 285. And should we do the teams first this time, or do we want to leave them to the end?
I think we could. I mean, if we're in the same mindset, we could talk about the team and kind of get it out of the way.
Okay. Why don't we do that? So why don't do you want to give me a rundown, or you want me to give you one?
I'll give the rundown. Rockmart and Toombs both got 13 qualifiers, yet Rockmart is coming in with a ungodly 7 sectional champions. They're your heavy favorites.
Yeah.
Not to disrespect Toombs or Fannin or Banks or even the sweet onion city of Vidalia with 9 qualifiers. Vidalia, I see you. This is Rockmart's to lose. Let's call it what it is. This is Rockmart's team title to lose.
As were the duels.
Yes, but let's just be honest here. Like, we're not going to lie to you, ladies and gentlemen at home. This is Rockmart's to lose. They're your heavy favorites, 7 champs. They have arguably the best guy in all of 2A in TK Davis.
Yeah.
Most of the team talk for me is going to be between Toombs, Fannin. For second, Banks, Vidalia kind of are my top 5. Model, it could be in there, Cook. But realistically, we know what's going to happen.
Yeah, so I think you summed it up well. I think the only chance that somebody outside of Rockmart really has a shot is that Fannin County has 4 champs and 5 runners up. But I mean, they're going to have to put those 9 kids into
Yeah.
the finals and maybe still even need to pull some upsets to be able to knock off Rockmart. I mean, it's just that kind of difference.
And the way the sectionals broke out, you're not going to get much help on that other side. So there's a real possibility Rockmart put like 8 in the finals.
Right. Right.
And this just turns into a Rockmart versus 2A dual meet in the finals.
Right. Right.
And let's just call it what it is. Like, there's a possibility that happens. So,
all right. So, do you want to give me your top 5? Are you starting with 5, or do you want to wait to the end?
I'll do it now. I have it finishing out Rockmart, Toombs, Fannin. Rockmart, Toombs, Fannin. I'm hedging my bet here. Rockmart, Toombs, Fannin, Banks, Model.
Okay.
Vidalia coming in 6th. Shout out to Vidalia. This would be a great finish for them. 6th place.
All right. So let's jump into the brackets. And as we did a random selection, we are going to start at 150 pounds, where we have Zach Sanders and Ben Lamp are your 2 section champs. You got Gabriel Hightower in the mix, Nikhil Mickle in the mix. But I mean, so what's interesting here is that Sanders is I think he's a returning qualifier. Lamp, I couldn't find him last year. I don't know if he wrestled previous years, but Lamp has looked super. So what do you think?
I believe Lamp last year was injured. I think that was the vibe I got when I went and worked with East Jackson this year. I really like Ben Lamp. I do. I like the kid. I haven't seen much of Sanders, so I'm gonna say Lamp is your champion at 150 pounds. But if I'm missing and Sanders is a monster and I just am unfamiliar, that's on me. But give me Ben Lamp.
Well, he did have to go to overtime with Robinson before he beat Mickle in the finals pretty decently. So, for context, that's just that. So, all right, let's jump to 157 pounds. Got Jed Roundtree of Cook, Peyton Leggett of Union County, Eli Ryder, Janarian Kamga.
I think Janarian, yeah, sure.
Yeah, the thing that's interesting to me is this happened in maybe 6A. I think it was 6A.
Oh,
and that is where Garrett injury defaulted back to 6th. Well, we've got the same sort of thing happen with Keelan Whaley of Banks County, who lost, I think, 13-11 in the semis and injury defaulted to 6th, which is tough for a 3 from the other side. So
yeah, I'm sitting here.
If
I'm Billy White, I'm pissed. If I'm Billy White, I'm pissed. I'm like, bro, really? Like, it is what it is. I will say this is a odd bracket for me because I've seen a bit of everybody here. I really like Jack Godby out of Vidalia. He's my dark horse. Mm-hmm. Luke Clay out of Rockmart. He's in an odd spot. He would catch Leggett in his second round, so probably not the best draw. I'm going to take Roundtree to win this one.
All right. Okay. I think they're both returning qualifiers. So they've been here before, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Although it does, it has to give you a little bit of an advantage, right?
I think it does as the tournament goes on. Like, if you've never been to Macon and had to deal with that environment over each day, it may be annoying, but
especially when you had to weigh in 4 times, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
100 years ago when they I can't say it was 100 years ago. That's when I was born. But not many years ago when you had like 1 round every single day for 4 days. That was just crazy.
That was so bad. So many guys got hurt. So many guys had worse weight cuts because of it. Like, it just it made no sense to me. They just wanted another day's worth of money from concessions and tickets.
165 pounds. We've got
Look,
Rock.
tell me I'm wrong.
I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I'm also going to just
Good,
move
'cause
on
I'm
to
right.
165 pounds. 165 pounds, Nazir Turner is your returning state champion. He is joined by David Hereda of Union County, who is the other sectional champ. Again, some good wrestlers in the bracket. I want you to keep an eye on Matthew Lopez of Berrien County. I think
Well, I'm
that,
happy you said that before I did. Yeah.
okay, I think he's one to watch. But I mean, Turner won it last year. Turner's got to be your favorite, right?
Yes, he is. I'm picking Turner. He's looked nearly lights out all season. Has some good wins as well as both of his losses are not really bad losses. So yeah, yeah. Very simply.
Very simply. You know,
Yes.
175 is a lot of fun because
Yes, it is.
because you've got Corbin Davenport, who was second last year. You got Riley Davis, who was third a year ago. You got Aaron Flood for Sean Sinqua, excuse me. And I mean, really a bunch of others. I think Davenport and Davis seem to be another step above everyone else. But I mean, that could be a really good final.
I would tend to agree with that, and I think we will see Davenport Davis in the final. And I think that match has top 5 team score implications. Like that's a match where, depending on who wins that, it could make a big difference in deciding who finishes third to fourth. Give me Corbin Davenport, the senior. I think he goes out on top for Fannin, but I wouldn't be surprised if Davis wins it. Also, I'm just gonna throw this guy out there. Josiah Townsell. He's 30 and 8 on the year. Didn't have a great sectional, but I've seen him beat some tough kids. Watch out for him to maybe try and make a run through the backside.
All right. Okay. That's a good one. I didn't have Josiah on my radar screen. So
yeah,
all right.
I watched him when Toombs and Vidalia dueled each other. Kid can wrestle.
All right. So, you know, what's really interesting at 190 is that Tank Morris from Toombs County is a returning runner-up. Allman is a returning placer. Okay. You've got some good wrestlers in the bracket besides the two of them. But the thing that stood out to me as I looked at the sectionals was that neither one of them dominated their sectional. They wrestled some close matches against some good competition. So despite having two guys who have been on the podium previously, I don't know that it's a foregone conclusion that there might be somebody else in the weight class who might kind of challenge them.
Yeah, no, I think Malone and Pointer both have the capability. I watched Pointer have a real good match with Tank when Toombs wrestled Vidalia. As well, Malone at a Rockmart. Listen, any of these Rockmart kids, I refuse to overlook because like they are the team in 2A and they have great coaching staff in front of them. But I'm gonna go with Tank Morris at a Toombs. I think the kid's a hammer. I wish he wanted to wrestle in college. No, I had a conversation with him after the dual meet. He's a football guy. God bless him. But he's one of the ones that I'm annoyed that we're gonna lose. But give me Morris. I think he's the favorite. I think he's gonna come out on top.
All right. So now when we go to 215, I have to know. I mean, this is kind of your neck of the woods. Is Fitzgerald? Have you seen them wrestle this year?
No, I've gotten some results from them from some of my people down here, but I haven't actually put eyes on them.
So I'm really interested because Will Watts is a senior from Toombs County, right? I think he's a returning placer.
I believe he is as well.
I'm intrigued by the freshman section champ from Fitzgerald, Malcolm Burris. I know that Watts has a win over Burris at the Valdosta tournament back in December.
Yeah.
But man, if this freshman is 28-2 and that's an accurate record and continues to get better and better and better.
Like the kid's good. The kid Burris can wrestle his tail off. Shout out to him. He might get himself a Fat and Scrappy call up in the near future. But another guy I just want to throw out there, Jason Covington at a Cook. Kid's a sophomore, 25 and 10 on the year. Sectional runner-up, wrestled Burris in the final. I'm picking Will Watts to win this weight. Been there, done that. You know, he's been here before. Like you said, state placer last season. Not that I think the moment's going to get to Burris, but I wonder if Hey, listen, it happened to me as a freshman, so it's not like I'm shooting at him. It happened to me as a freshman. Moment got to me, I wrestled bad. And
Well,
I lost my state finals. It happens.
and 215's deep. I mean, you've got not only Covington, you've got Robinson, you've got Lyons, you've got Crowder, you've got some good wrestlers at
Yeah, you got to get
215
up
pounds.
for pretty much all your matches from the semis on, even kind of the quarters. You got to get up for that match.
So
So
I've got a bracket buster to watch, and that is Landon Wade of Model. I think that
I'm
you might
not
want to keep an
mad
eye
at
on him.
that. I mean, his draw is interesting, but I'm not mad at that.
I don't know. Have you seen Marcus Dixon from Vidalia wrestle?
I think he wrestled in that dual meet and lost to Watts. I think he got beat handily by Watts, if I'm not mistaken. But even if so, let's say Wade gets past him, then you wrestle Watts, your drop puts you in a safe position up there. Then you'd possibly wrestle Robinson or Wainwright. I mean, listen, I haven't put eyes on the kid. So if he's that guy, then hey, I'll shut the hell up. But I'm just saying his draw doesn't play favorably to him.
Right. All right. So 285 pounds, returning state placer Jace Davis from Rockmart comes in 52-1 as a senior. Josh Petty is the section champ on the other side, just as a sophomore. You got Logan Long, JoJo Schumann. There's actually a lot of names in this bracket as well, but just Jace Davis. I mean, if you watched him wrestle last year in Macon, you know he has the ability to claim the top step.
And I think he will. I just think I don't want to say he's that much, but the kid's a stud. Like, what do you want me to say? The kid can bang with the best of them. I mean, he's a hammer. So I think we'll be seeing him walking out of Macon, your champion.
All right, let's turn the corner and come back to 106 pounds, where we have a bounty of freshmen, tons of freshmen, but I think the favorite is probably returning state qualifier, returning state placer. I think he's a qualifier. Charlie Wheeler of East Jackson.
Agreed. I really like what I see out of Brandon Locke. I hear all the right things. Another guy I hear all the right things about is Brennan Newman out of Vidalia. Didn't have a great section, but I hear all the right things about him, that he puts the extra work in. So who knows? Maybe he's a kid that we'll see flourish as time goes on. But if I'm going to be honest, from the minute I saw the bracket draw, I immediately went to Charlie Wheeler. I watched him wrestle when I did my camp with them. I even put my hands on him. The kid knows what he's doing. I like what I see out of him. Give me Wheeler.
All right, jump into 113. We've got a freshman in Hagen Sharp who has really had a really good season, but sitting on the other side was a state champion from 2 years ago, I believe, was third a year ago. Blake Summers of Fannin probably is your favorite at 113.
Yes. No, I really like Blake Summers. I think he is the guy to beat at 113 pounds in 2A. But again, this is one of the situations where you look team score wise, Rockmart in all likelihood is in a real good position to put another guy at the finals.
Yeah.
Like this is where this finals is going to start looking like a Rockmart dual meet. From like 13 to 32, you're going to hear us talking about Rockmart a lot. But you're going to hear it a lot. But yeah, I think it's Blake Summers. I think he is the pick. Yeah, not to disrespect anybody else in this bracket, but he's the pick.
The single best weight class in 2A features probably the single best wrestler in 2A in TK
Agreed.
Davis. But TK's not alone. TK has Angel Cruz, who was a state champion a year ago from Banks County. You've got Alan Calderon, who took third and lost to TK Davis in the semis last weekend. I mean, this is a good weight. I mean, all three of those wrestlers I will take against other 113s in other classifications. So
120s.
Or I'm sorry, 120s in other classifications.
No, I agree 100%. But I think that, while Angel Cruz can wrestle, Calderon, Holt, Stock, everybody's forgetting that Colby Stock from Fellowship Christian, he's 13-3 on the year, had some good wins, and the kid can bang. But it's TK Davis. Like it's TK Davis. You know, one loss on the season to Jake Craps in that guerrilla warfare, dual
Winner
meet,
take all.
which I guess this is Mortal Kombat now, neither here nor there. Uh, yeah, it's TK Davis. You know, like we said, the best guy in 2A, realistically. No disrespect to anybody else, but if we're doing a fantasy draft of 2A and I get number 1 pick, I'm taking TK Davis. Like, that's what's happening.
I agree with you. I mean, I agree with you. There's no doubt that I mean, he's one of the best 120 pounders, regardless of classification. He's one of the best 120 pounders in the Southeast. So super talented, which is not something you say a whole lot about from 2A. Not to say anything bad about 2A or any of the smaller classifications.
No, it's not.
But,
no, this isn't like.
But
it's not saying anything bad. The TK is a hammer.
He is. He is. All right. So 126, you got his teammate Gunnar Chambers, who I think was a runner-up a year ago.
I think so as well.
You got Joshua Smith down there as the other section champ. Gage Adams is in there. Cooper Moreland is in there. Again, this is a good weight class, but at 34-1, Chambers looks like your favorite.
Chambers is my favorite. I'm picking Chambers to win it. Again, another senior. This is where we're going to see a lot about Rockmart's development staff, as they have a lot of guys leaving this year. Not to say that this is the fall off of Rockmart. I'm not disrespecting the Rockmartians in any way, shape, or form. But we're going to see next year how they develop talent, which they did with this crop. They did a fantastic job. We're going to see if they can replicate that here. I really like Gage Adams out of Harrelson. I think he's got a lot of upside. I don't know if he beats Joshua Smith. Joshua Smith, a guy that I rolled with at my camp. They're both hammers in their own right. I do not know how to say this kid's name, but the wrestler out of Columbia, 33-2 on the year. Don't be surprised if you see him on the podium. I'm going to say his last name's Sadiq.
I think that's probably right.
I'm not trying that first name, so, sir, if I see you at the state meet, please tell me how to say your name. But I am picking Gunnar Chambers to win 126 pounds.
All right. So,
hey, look what team's on the top line again. It's a pattern.
Right. And the thing is that it's a senior also.
Yeah.
A senior from Rockmart. James Murray is one of the section champs. Dalen Lowe, Banks County, is the other section champ. You got Bernie and Golden. You got a Jardarius Goolsby, who placed last year as kind of my dark horse. But Murray, after taking third in the room with Rockmart, man, they could make it 3 in a row right here.
And I have them doing that. Like I said, I think Golden and Goolsby, and like as you were saying, guys to look out for as well. I'm going to throw my hat into the ring. Anderson Klaus out of Union County has some good wins on the year. He's just kind of, from what I can tell, just been streaky. He'll go on some good streaks, and then he'll start wrestling guys, and I'm like, all right, this is a guy that we should be 12 points better than, and you're beating him by 2. So if he has one of his good days, don't be surprised if you see him on the podium. All
right, so let's jump to 138. We don't have a Rockmartian on the top line. We have Ethan Carter. We do have him on line 3, though, in Blue Winners, who was a state placer a year ago, but didn't have the best of sections, is going to have a tougher road to get there. You got Taylor Collis down as a senior on the bottom line, the other section champ. I think Elijah Mullins is pretty talented as well. I think this is an interesting weight.
No, it really is. And, if you at home are putting in your bingo card a 2 or a 3 spot winning a championship, this might be the weight to make that pick. Give me Taylor Collins.
Collis. Isn't it Collis? There's no N in there, I think.
Yes, Collis. You're correct. Excuse me. Give me Taylor Collis.
All right. So I'm going to give you a little trivia. Last year we had, I think, 3 6th place finishers in the section make the podium, 3 5th place finishers make the podium. 5 of the 6 were seniors, but 1 wasn't a senior. And that wrestler is in this bracket that we just talked about. And that's Xander Rothko, who came from a 5 or 6 spot a year ago, and will have to do it again if he's going to make the podium.
And if anything, God said, hey, you did it last year. Here's even a tougher draw for you, son. He gets winners off the scale. Should he get past him, he'll have Carter. Should he get past him, you'll probably have either Wadley or Mullins. And then in the final, you'll see Collis, Blair, or realistic Collis or Blair, I think, are who's going to come out of the bottom side. Like, if he runs through that gauntlet of fire again.
But I mean, even to make the podium is an accomplishment, because most 6s and 5s do not fare all that well.
I'm going to make a bold call. 2021, that spot in the bracket, that matchup, both of them will be in the top 6.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I see it happening. Rocco, I mean, we've seen him do it before. He's a guy that obviously just wants to wrestle and doesn't care where the spot in the bracket is. He's going to go after whoever you put at him. And Blue Winters is a Rockmartian, and I'll go against the Rockmartians, especially a senior who, while he's had an up and down season, when he's on, is a stud. So even if I think of the top 6, both of them will get in.
All right, so let's jump to 144, and let's see if you'll go with a senior Rockmartian to win this weight. You got Wilson up top. You got Collis at the bottom. I think both of them were state placers a year ago. Collis was 4th. Wilson was 6th. How is this one playing out?
I am really intrigued by a Collis Wilson final. I would be remiss, though, if I didn't throw out the name. Well, first off, Slade Landrum is one of my favorite names in the state. He's in my top 10 names, dead or alive. And then Danny Thigpen, I feel like needs to get a mention. Okay. 33-6 on the year out of Pierce County. Don't be surprised if you see him on the podium. Don't be surprised if about 2193 you see Thigpen and Wilson put on an absolute barn burner. However, in the long run, I'm going to be picking another Rockmartian. Give me Hunter Wilson to finish the weekend on the top step.
All right. And that is 2A. How many Rockmartians did you pick?
I have 6. I have 6.
You picked 6.
And there was another one or two I could have picked. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely asinine. Wow. Okay.
They're a talented crew. Now, I will say, out of the 6 you picked, though, at least 4 or 5 of them are seniors.
That's the thing. Like that's the thing.
Yeah. All right. So it looks like a Rock Mart party in 2A.
A Rock Mart party. I like it.
Well, they have really put together a fantastic squad. They showed it in duels. I mean, I can't imagine that they don't show it again this weekend. I'm not counting any other teams out, but they like are really talented.
I really like the way you say it, that we don't hand out hardware. Like, look, we can look at it and we can call it how we see it, but at the end of the day, they got to toe the line on Thursday. Is it Wednesday the tournament starts or Thursday?
For 2A, I think it's Friday. It's Friday and Saturday for 2A.
Sure, whatever.
Thursday and Friday for the other classes.
Whatever, cool. Love you, GHSA. Point being, yeah, when they toe the line, anything can happen. I mean, we've seen it. We see it time and time again at the state tournament, where a kid that doesn't deserve it in the eyes of some people, because maybe his record on the year is 35-19. We see him go on a run.
Right.
So,
and you only have to do it. You only have to do it this weekend. I mean, you win those matches. I mean, that's all that matters. Nobody remembers that record when all is said and done.
That's what I love about wrestling, man. That's it. Arguably the sport where one move or action can change the course of the contest more than in any other sport. And all you got to do to win a state championship is, if you get a bye, do it 3 times. That's all you got to do. 3 or 4. That's all you got to do it. That's right. And anyone can do that. So, especially if you make it here, you're in the last 12 for your entire classification.
All right.
Hey.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk about 2A. And for everybody out there, if you haven't tuned in for some of the other ones that we've talked about, We break all of the brackets down. It's been a long affair talking with Lucas as it relates to all these, but it's been a ton of fun. And yeah, check one of those out. So, Lucas, I appreciate it, man.
And I'm going to say one thing, and I wish
All
I
right.
said it in all the videos, but I didn't.
Okay.
And hell, if you want, that's something you could throw into the end of all the videos. If you want, I'm not giving you more editing, but hell, if you want to, go ahead.
Okay.
To all the kids competing this weekend, take it in, man. Just go have fun. This is a. Oh wait, no, I did. Never mind. I did go on this diatribe. Never mind.
I think you said it in the intro.
Yes, I did. I think I. You know what? Wait. You see this little scroll bar right here, ladies and gentlemen? You just follow my finger. You go here, run it back, and tell me if I put it down in the comments if I said it or not.
All right, Lucas, you take care, man.
Yes, sir.